I'm going to cover some resume and cover letter basics to help you highlight your skills and accomplishments for the employer. We have a resume sample here, so I'm going to go over each section from top to bottom. We're going to start with the contact info section. The font size of your entire resume should be a 10, except for your name. You want the name to be a larger font size so it brings more attention to the reader. If you want to maintain your privacy regarding your home address, you can omit the street address, as you can see here. If you look at the overall resume sample, the formatting, the margins, and alignment are all uniform and very consistent. That makes it look professional, but also very easy to read. So if we look at the education section, the resume is a professional document, therefore spell out the university names and degrees. You'll want to limit your honors and awards to just 1 or 2. Study abroad is optional, but if you want to include them, this is how you would do so. For current students, your education section will be first. For those that have 3+ years of experience, your education section can move to the end of your resume. For the skills section, only computer and proficiency in a foreign language are included here. For trainings and certifications that you can see that follow the skills section, these two sections are very different. Trainings that you receive from the school or your field internships would go under trainings. If you have completed an entire series of trainings or courses where you are now legitimately certified, then they would go in the certifications section. For your experience section, which follows, you want to write bullet points that have details and specifics. For clinical experiences, as shown in the Children and Family Service Center, include what you are doing, such as assessments, group work, the population, and their presenting diagnoses. You can also include interventions that you may have used. For macro experiences, such as the NAMI example, the same principle applies. Provide details and specifics about what you are working on, the name of the program, who you are collaborating with, and the results and outcomes of that if you know them. You'll want to have at least 3 bullet points per experience or a maximum of 5. Make sure the verb tense of your action verbs that begin your bullet points are being used correctly and appropriately and match your time frame. A resume can also include other experiences in addition to work and internships, such as community work or volunteer work. You'll want to create a targeted resume where you organize by most recent relevance. Now we're going to go over how to write a cover letter. For your cover letter, use the template for a standard business letter with your name and contact info as well as the employers and the date, as you can see here. The cover letter should be about the length of what you see on this sample, with the second paragraph having a few more lines to it. Always address the letter to the hiring committee or the selection committee. If you know the name of the hiring manager, then you will address the letter to that person. The letter is a basic 3-paragraph structure, as you can see here. In the first paragraph, you introduce who you are, the job you are applying for, and the name of the referral if that is applicable to you in your situation. End this first paragraph with a sentence about the organization that resonated with you when you did your research about them that really makes you want to work there. For the second paragraph, this is the heart of your cover letter, where you are succinctly explaining why you and your cumulative experiences make you the best future asset and contributor to their organization. Look at what your resume represents and tell that narrative as it relates to the job and organization. The final paragraph is the third paragraph. Reiterate your interest in the job and indicate how you can best be reached. These are the basics on how to write a cover letter.